There comes a moment when success stops answering the question. You did the work, you built the life, you became capable, you became responsible. You earned the degree, the position, the title, the income, the house, the respect, the image of woman who knows what she's doing. And still, something inside you asks, is this all? Not because you are ungrateful, not because you are spoiled, not because you should be ashamed for wanting more, but because achievement can fill your calendar, your bank account, your house, and your social image without filling your soul. That is the part nobody tells you when you are climbing. They tell you to work hard, to be ambitious, to be independent, to make money, to build stability, to become someone, to prove that you can, to stand on your own feet. And all that matters. I will never be the person who says money does not matter. It does. Safety matters, stability matters, a home matters, education matters, freedom matters, choice matters. Standing on your 2 feet matters. And being able to take care of your children matters. Being able to leave situations that are not good for you matters. Being able to say no because you are not financially trapped matters. Money is not the enemy. Ambition is not the enemy. Wanting more is not the enemy. The question is what your more is serving. And that is the difference between the treadmill and the calling. And that is the difference between ego success and aligned success. That is the currency of joy. And there are 2 mountains in life. The first mountain asks, what can I build for myself? And the second mountain asks, what can move through me for others? And the first mountain is necessary. You need to climb it. You need to build a ground under your feet. You need to learn how to survive, provide, earn, protect yourself, create conditions for your life. You need to know that you can stand on your own. You need to know that you are not dependent on someone else to give you permission to live. There's nothing wrong with that mountain. That mountain gives you dignity. It gives you safety. It gives you the ability to breathe. It gives you choice. And people who shame the first mountain often speak from a place where their basic safety has already been met. It is easy to say money does not matter when you have enough of it. It is easy to romanticize simplicity when your rent is paid, your children are fed, your car is working, and your body is safe. When you live in real lack, money is not shallow. Money is protection. Money is food. Money is a roof. Money is medicine. Money is education. Money is the possibility to rest. Money is the ability to choose instead of beg. So the first mountain matters. Build the life, earn the money, create the stability, get the education, buy the house, if that is what matters to you. Build the business, ask for the raise, charge for your work. Do not apologize for wanting life that feels safer and freer. But do not confuse the first mountain with a whole life. Because after a while, a different question arrives. Not how can I get more, but what is all of this for? And that question changes everything. I grew up in a family where we did not have a lot of money, but we were not poor. We could go on holidays, we could go somewhere, I could go to school, I could study. And because I was a good student, I received a state scholarship. I did not have to pay for my studies in the way many people have to. I was able to complete my education, my master's in management, my PhD in philosophy, and without money becoming the main obstacle, really. And for a long time, I did not think deeply about money. It was there, it was needed, but it was not the center of my life. I got a good job quite quickly, a good position, a good salary. I ticked the boxes. I did what looked right. I was capable, I was responsible. I had the kind of life that looks solid from the outside. And then life changed. After divorce, money became something else. It was not a concept anymore. It was not only a salary or a number, it became safety. It became responsibility. It became one income, children, home, costs, decisions, pressure. It became the question of whether I could carry everything. And that is when I started seeing the stories I had around money, stories I did not choose consciously, stories from childhood, environment, culture, people around me. Stories like people with a lot of money are bad. Stories like you have to work very hard to have money. Stories like wanting more money makes you greedy. Stories like money belongs to people who take, not people who care. And I had to look at that first. Because if you believe money is bad, you will never have a clean relationship with wanting more of it. If you believe wealth makes you selfish, you will sabotage the part of you that wants freedom. If you believe good people should not want much, you will confuse lack with goodness. And lack is not goodness, lack is lack. It can teach you compassion, it can teach you resilience, it can teach you humility, but lack does not make you morally superior. Money does not make you morally superior either. Money multiplies what is already in you. If someone is corrupt, more money gives corruption more room. If someone is driven by ego, more money gives ego a louder stage. If someone is cruel, more money gives cruelty more access. If someone sees other people as less worthy, more money can make them even uglier. But if someone carries kindness, money can give kindness hands. If someone carries generosity, money can give generosity reach. If someone carries a vision, money can build it. If someone wants to contribute, money becomes a vehicle. And that is why the question is not whether money is good or bad. The question is, who are you becoming with it? And what does it serve? You see, I love animals. I always loved animals. Even when I was a child, my parents and I took in animals that needed a home. Later, as an adult, I continued doing that. I have a dog from a shelter. I have a cat from a shelter. They were both without owners, or their owners could not keep them. And this is such a simple example, really, but it matters. Taking care of animals costs money. Food costs money. Vet care costs money. Safety costs money. Time and space costs something too. If I did not have enough, I could not do it. But what actually comes back from that, what I get back, is love, company, laughter, funny and stupid moments that make the whole house feel alive. And that feeling when an animal that did not have a home now belongs somewhere, and you cannot put a price tag on that. And that is the currency of joy. The meaning, the connection, love, life. And the same is true with education. Money can give access, money can open doors, money can allow someone to study, learn, grow, become more capable, and create a life they would not have been able to create otherwise. And the same is true with house. A house is not only a symbol, it is safety, it is peace. It's a place where children grow, where you breathe, where you're not dependent on someone else's mood or control. And the same is true in relationships. When you stand on your own 2 feet, you love differently. You do not stay because you need someone to pay for your life. You do not silence yourself because survival depends on approval. You do not confuse love with dependency. Financial stability gives you a different kind of freedom, and that freedom matters. But there is a point where more comfort does not create more meaning. There is a point where the next purchase does not touch the deeper ache. There is a point where the bigger number becomes only a scoreboard. There is a point where the new thing gives a short excitement and then the emptiness returns. And that is the empty treadmill. And high achieving women know this treadmill very well. Another promotion, another revenue goal, another certification, another house project, another bare body, another impressive photo, another polished image of success. Another way to prove I'm doing well. I'm capable, I'm not behind, I'm enough. But if the climb is built on proving your worth, the summit will not feel peaceful. It will only become another place where the mind asks, what's next? Because ego success never arrives. Ego success always needs another proof, another number, another title, another compliment, another comparison, another visible sign that you have made it. Aligned success is different. Ego success says, I need this to prove I'm enough. Aligned success says, I know I am enough. And from that place, I can build something meaningful. Ego success asks, how do I look? Aligned success asks, what am I here to give? Ego success wants applause. Aligned success wants impact. Ego success wants to be seen as important. Aligned success wants to do work that matters. Ego success needs the outside to confirm the inside. Aligned success begins inside and moves outwards. And that is why aligned success feels calm. It still has a vision, it still has standards, it still has goals. It still wants growth, but the energy is different. It's not desperate. It's not hungry in the same way. It does not chase the next thing to fill an inner hole. It builds because something inside says, this matters. Give this life. And that is how I feel about my work. I could do things that make money and feel completely disconnected from them. I could do some technical things, some forms, some work people pay for because they do not know how to do it themselves. And yes, there can be money in that, but I do not feel aligned with it. I feel aligned with helping women. I feel aligned with creating spaces where someone can hear something and finally understand herself differently. I feel aligned with helping someone move from pressure, shame, overthinking, fear of judgment, and feeling not good enough into more self-trust, clarity, peace, and inner freedom. And it is kind of success that is not always measurable from the outside. You cannot always put it in a number. A breakthrough does not always look impressive on Instagram. A woman finally telling the truth to herself does not always become a public achievement. A woman no longer abandoning herself in relationship does not always come with applause. A woman sleeping better because she stopped fighting herself does not always look like a business metric. But that is success. Not because of how much she paid me, not because of how it looks, but because something changed in her life. And that matters. And I cannot stay motivated for long in work that feels meaningless. I lose point, I lose energy. I need to know that what I do contributes to something beyond myself. That was also one of the reasons I moved into anti-corruption work. And it was not only about a good job or a salary, of course, I needed to earn. We all need to live, but there was also contribution. There was a sense that the work served the community, that it was connected to something bigger than my own comfort. And coaching came from the same place. And this podcast comes from the same place. Every post, every video, every episode, every free resource, every paid program, every piece of work I put into the world is meant to create a space for someone to come closer to herself. And that is giving back, not only charity in the traditional sense. Giving back is a shelter donation, is adopting an animal, is funding education, is creating free resources, is supporting research, is helping someone heal, is creating a safe space where someone can finally breathe, is using your influence to change a conversation. It's using platform to lift people instead of only showing them your perfect life. And I love people who do that. People with influence have a choice. They can use money, status, fame, and attention to feed only themselves, or they can use it to benefit others too. And we see both. We see people who collect more and more, treat others badly, and use success as permission to look down on people. We see celebrities and powerful people who look shiny on the outside and behave without dignity behind the scenes. And we also have people who use what they have to serve. That is influence moving through a person instead of stopping at the person. That is success becoming a vehicle. And we see this beautiful shift in athletes like Goran Dragić and Luka Dončić, both amazing basketball players from my country. They achieved massive global success, won the titles, and made the money. But they did not let success stop at their own bank accounts. They choose to use their platforms to build basketball courts in Slovenia, founding camps, and physically showing up to teach and support young children directly. They're not just writing a distant check. They are letting their success become a playground of opportunity for the next generation. And that is the second mountain in action. That is success behaving as a tool, not a destination. Your success is not destination. Your success is a tool, a platform, a resource, a responsibility, a possibility. And this does not mean you have to become famous or wealthy before your life can contribute. That is another trap. You can give love now. You can be kind now. You can help now. You can listen now. You can encourage now. You can be generous with attention, warmth, wisdom, care, patience, honesty. But when you have more, you give in more ways. You can build more, you can fund more, you can support more, you can open more doors, you can create more spaces. You can make your values visible in the material world. And this is where wanting more becomes clean. There is nothing wrong with wanting more money. There is nothing wrong with wanting an easier life. There is nothing wrong with wanting freedom, beauty, comfort, travel, a home, support, education, and choice. The question is what the more is attached to. If more is attached to proving, you will never have enough. If more is attached to fear, you will never feel safe. If more is attached to comparison, you will always find someone ahead of you. If more is attached to ego, you will keep feeding something that cannot be satisfied. But if more is attached to values, it becomes alive. If more is attached to contribution, it becomes meaningful. If more is attached to freedom, generosity, and service, it becomes the currency of joy. It's about awareness. At some point, more comfort does not create more joy. At some point, the soul asks for meaning. And if you ignore that question, you can sit in the most beautiful house and still feel empty. Because a house is just a house if there is no life inside it. A pool is just a pool if there's no joy around it. A car is just a car if it only exists to prove something. A photo is just a photo if it's hiding a lonely life. I see so many images of wealth online. Big houses, pools, cars. Perfect views, perfect outfits. Perfect bodies standing in front of expensive things. And I look at that and think, okay, beautiful, but are you fulfilled? Do you feel peaceful? Do you feel connected? Do you feel loved? Do you respect the person you are becoming? Do you enjoy your life when nobody is taking picture of it? Because the things that bring me the deepest joy are not the things that look most impressive online. Walking in nature and listening to the birds. Hearing my children laugh. Hugging my best friend. Telling my mom, my children, the people I love you. And hearing it back. Seeing it shown, not only said, feeling that there is love in the room. Feeling that I am living in truth. Feeling that what I do has meaning. Feeling that my life is not only about me, that is wealth to me. Not instead of money, together with money, because money can support that life. Money can give that life more space. Money can protect what matters. Money can allow me to create more, give more, rest more, support more, build more, help more. But money cannot replace the feeling of meaning. And if you expect it to, you will keep climbing and keep feeling hungry. So if you are a high-achieving woman listening to this, and you have built so much but still feel like you are running on treadmill, I want you to stop for a moment and tell yourself the truth. You're not tired because you lack ambition. You're tired because ambition without meaning drains the soul. You're not ungrateful because the success does not feel the way you thought it would feel. You're waking up to a deeper question. What is my success serving? And that question will change your life if you answer it honestly. What is your success serving right now? Is it serving your ego? Is it serving your fear? Is it serving the old story that you are not enough? Is it serving comparison? Is it serving an image? Is it serving the need to prove that you are capable, desirable, chosen, respected, ahead? Or is it serving your values? Is it serving your freedom? Is it serving your children? Is it serving your health? Is it serving your community? Is it serving the people you are here to help? Is it serving a vision that feels bigger than your own image? And who benefits when you become more successful? Only your ego? Or also your family, your clients, your community, the causes you care for, the animals you want to protect, the people you want to support, the spaces you want to create? Those are important questions to reflect on. Because if you build from I'm not enough, your success will always need another proof. If you build from I'm already enough, your success becomes an expression of your values, your creativity, your wisdom, your love, your courage, your service, your purpose. That is aligned success. It does not have to make sense to everyone at first. People will not always understand why something matters to you. They will not always understand why you choose one path over another. They will not always understand why you leave work that looks good from the outside, why you build something new, why you care about the people you care about, why you want to give in a certain way. It does not need to make sense to everyone. It needs to feel true in you because there is a meaning that wants to be given life through you. I do not love the phrase full potential because it has been overused so much that it lost some of its depth, but there is truth in it. There is something in each of us that wants to be lived, not performed, not proven, lived. And when you build from that place, success feels different, money feels different, work feels different, ambition feels different. You are no longer trying to become worthy. You are expressing the worth that is already there. And you are no longer chasing success to fix the hole. You are creating success because something meaningful wants to move through you. And that is the second mountain. The first mountain gives you ground. The second mountain gives you meaning. The first mountain helps you stand. The second mountain asks what you will do now. And there is no shame in either mountain. There is only a problem when you build your whole life on the first one and wonder why the view still feels empty. So look at your life today. Look at the goals you are chasing. Look at the money you want. Look at the title you want. Look at the business you are building. Look at the house, the body, the lifestyle, the recognition, the number, the image. And ask yourself, what do I believe this will give me? What am I trying to prove? What am I hoping this will finally make me feel? Who do I become while I am chasing it? And what could this success serve beyond my own ego? These questions are not here to make you feel guilty for wanting more. They are here to make your wanting clean. They are here to bring your ambition back into alignment. They are here to remind you that the deepest joy does not come from having more for the sake of more. The deepest joy comes from knowing that what you have is connected to what you love. Your money connected to your values, your work connected to your contribution, your success connected to your service, your freedom connected to your truth, your life connected to something bigger than your image. And that is the currency of joy. Start with the question, what is my success serving? Because the goal is not to stop climbing. The goal is to know what your climb is serving. The goal is not to want less. The goal is to want from truth. The goal is not to reject money. The goal is to let money serve life. The goal is not to look successful. The goal is to become a person whose success carries meaning. Build the life, earn the money, create the freedom, stand on your own feet, and then let something beautiful move through you. Let your success become a vehicle. Let your money become a tool. Let your ambition become service. Let your life become generous. That is where joy lives. Not on the empty summit, but in the meaning you create with what you build. Welcome home.